Top CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
JOY.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Sportsman.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'd like to take an opportunity. Woo! Go blow the whistle.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother, they're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. This message courtesy of the Arkansas Beef Council and Beef. It's what's for dinner.com.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
So you just searched, what should the Chuck and Bo show talk about today?
Yep.
I'm dead.
Number 2, Chuck Barrett's legacy after his passing.
Reflect on the late Chuck Barrett's impact on Arkansas sports broadcasting, especially poignant since his death earlier this month on February 2nd, 2025.
I'm going to take a minute to talk about my friend Chuck, who's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Chuck had a big heart.
Chuck and Bo show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Chuck.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Well, if you're just waking up this morning, congratulations on that. It's always good to wake up. But, man, I know a lot of people probably struggled to stay up for the game last night as much as you wanted to. And Arkansas gave you every reason, if you watch the first half, to stay up. Because you're like, oh, okay, it's starting to happen now. I think they made the joke on the telecast last night that Arkansas realized they were on the app and not on actual linear television, like on the SEC network. And so they didn't play very well for the first 7 minutes or so. And then they got on television. And as we always say with this team, when the lights are brightest and the games are biggest, they seem to play their best. And they certainly did last night. And they went off in the second half and just basically kept it a double-digit game for the entire second half and finished it off with a 90-77 win in a must-win situation. So that's what you're waking up to this morning. That, and if you're in Fayetteville, I don't know what happened overnight because I wasn't up for it. But I realized, like, today, this morning, is my trash day. So I had to get my trash can down. Normally I do it the night before, but last night was just a wacky situation. So I took it down this morning, and it turns out I'm glad I did. Because on the way in, I saw trash cans everywhere, all over the road. Trash cans upside down, trash here, trash there, boxes Apparently, we had some wind last night.
A lot of wind.
So just maybe a quick update before we dive into the game here. What else are people waking up to this morning, Bart, in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room? What happened?
I had some rain move through with some gusty winds.
Storms.
Yeah, winds gusting up to 45 miles an hour. That's why the trash cans are all capsized.
That's the worst.
There's one that was like in front of one of my neighbor's driveways, like tipped over. Like they're everywhere.
Few things are worse than a trash can getting flipped over and the wind's blowing, and now trash is everywhere.
Yeah, I can't.
Like, it just,
don't love that.
It really takes organization and turns it upside down in a hurry. Also, it was sleeting when I walked outside this morning. I mean, it was like I said aloud, "Is this snow? Is this snow?" Yeah, you're driving. You had a little sleet.
It was coming down hard.
Yeah,
there were parts of the area that experienced some wintry precipitation.
Here we are
this morning.
Here we are. But you know what?
Didn't see any here.
Victorious,
in
victorious. And by the way, if you have been one of these people that have been snickering at Trevin Brazil throughout the year, and you've been talking to your friends about who is this guy and what's he doing on this team, and making jokes and laughing at Trevin Brazil, you owe him an apology to your friends today. You just need to go, and I was wrong about that guy. He's had 2 amazing games out of the last 3 now. In this win, double-double, 16 points, 10 rebounds. John Calipari in the locker room.
14.
What did I say?
10.
Say it for me. 16 and 14?
16 and 14.
Okay.
TB, that's who the hell you are.
Yeah, that's who they hoped he would be.
TB, that's who the hell you are.
So, look, now this team is what? Where are they? After winning this game at Vanderbilt, it's another quad 1 win, the 5th quad 1 win for the Razorbacks. Joe Lunardi, according to John Sunvold, who was on the show yesterday and was preparing for the game he called last night, reached out to Lunardi and said, hey, tell me where the Razorbacks are. And he said they needed to win one of these last 2 games, or maybe 2 games total, including the first round of the SEC tournament or the game coming up against Mississippi State, to assure themselves an at-large spot in the field. So where did this leave them after the win last night? That's an impressive road win. And does it erase the South Carolina loss in the minds of the committee, or what? I mean, I would think so.
It should. That's the way it should work. That's as good a win as a team late in the year. A quad 1 win on the road is as good a thing you can do. And by the way, that got Arkansas to 7 SEC wins. And we said from the beginning, if they got to 7 SEC wins, they would be in the tournament. And I think that's where they are now.
I continue to be impressed with the job that Cal and his staff are doing with this team. And I have been interested to watch someone with the resume and the reputation and the aura of John Calipari handle what I would refer to as really embarrassing moments. There have been some really embarrassing moments with this team. And for him to go in front of the media and talk about it. And among those moments, maybe one of the biggest, I mean, they did start 0-5. That's pretty embarrassing for a guy who comes in with all these expectations and all this attention and a TV show on Vice to start 0-5 in the league. That was tough. I'm sure that was tough on him. But then the way they lost to South Carolina, as they're playing and fighting for their NCAA tournament lives, to come out and lay that kind of egg. But the way he handled that, and he talked about it last night, to get them off that game and onto this game, to be prepared to then go out and win. I mean, that's not necessarily easy on a quick turnaround. Play Saturday, got to play again Tuesday.
We got smoked by South Carolina so bad, I never looked at the tape. And I told the team, the reason I didn't look at the tape, that wasn't my team. So why would I watch it? That's not my team. I mean, we were so bad. We were 0 for 17 from the 3. We're getting, missed free throws, missed layups, missed 1-footers, missed everything, shot 15%. And I just said, look, it was a dud, next game.
Here's the other thing that maybe you realize and maybe you don't that makes me really compliment what Cal and his staff and his team have done. They haven't had the same team all year. They've had to constantly adjust from preseason practices all the way until now. It's been a constant adjustment, let alone they have a brand new team. Like, let's remember they started with a brand new team. None of these guys had played together outside of the 3 guys that came from Kentucky, and this is a completely different situation. These guys don't know each other. They're all coming in with NIL deals of some sort that make them all think like I'm a pretty good player. One of the hardest things in any sport is to get a team to play together, but in particular, basketball can be a really difficult sport to get guys playing together because at times it feels very individual and you have to go make plays, but you have to do it within a system or a cohesiveness or in the framework of a team. Sometimes that can actually lead to you deferring too much. So all these things had to be figured out. And then they can't keep the same group together. Guys are hurt in the preseason. Guys are hurt as we get into the season. Then somebody else gets hurt. Just as they figure out sort of their new identity, Thiero goes out. Here's Cal last night. I think this is a great point.
You know, it's funny. There's not one way to play this game. Everybody, you have to play it. No. Depends on your team. This is about my 4th team this year. Like, now Boogie and Adu's out. I got a new team. I said to the guys, why am I still tweaking stuff? And they said, well, you're looking at tape. No, we're a different team than we were 2 weeks ago, and we got to figure out how we have to play to win.
So still figuring it out, and figured it out last night. Congratulations to Arkansas, who is a winner, and their 18th win of the year, and their 7th win in SEC play. Now, this was the Blakeman's bet I made with you, Bart. There wasn't a bet because you didn't have anything on the line, but we'll call it the Blakeman's bet. My bet with you, and I think we've struggled to remember exactly what it was, but I think what it was is if they got to 7 wins, they would make the NCAA tournament. And so now we're going to find out if that's true. Mm-hmm. Now maybe they'll get to 8, and so they'll have definitely punched, or we think, their ticket. Nobody actually knows for sure until Selection Sunday. I mean, Joe Lunardi's not the gospel.
Right.
Jerry Palm, who's on the show later today, is not the gospel. But they do study this annually and have done it for decades, and so they have a pretty good idea of how the committee's going to go. And right now it feels like Arkansas is where, as we now have a new net ranking that just came out moments ago. So we go back to the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room with breaking news.
Arkansas has climbed up to 39th in the net. Vanderbilt actually dropped behind Arkansas in the net. They're now at 43. Just looking at it and eyeballing the rankings, I would have to think at this point that Arkansas is in the field. I don't even think they're in Dayton anymore. I think that's what that win last night at Vanderbilt did for them. I think it moved them firmly into the field, as, say, an 11 seed, for example, a 10 or 11 seed.
All right, so we have new breaking news. The first breaking news was you reading the net, which is what?
39th. Moved up to 39th.
And then the other breaking news is Bart has declared the state of California for the Razorbacks. It's like election night. Bart has declared breaking news. Here comes Bart with the declaration. You're hearing it here first. Haven't heard it anywhere else. Bart has what?
I have declared that Arkansas is in the field.
They're in the field of 68.
They're in the field of 68.
The Hogs are in.
As of today.
Well, if they lose it on Saturday, are they still in the field?
I think they're still in the field.
If they lose the first round of the NCAA tournament or SEC tournament, are they still in the field?
I think they're still in the field.
One more time. You heard it here first.
I think that's what that win last night did for them.
Let's close
like I said,
up and go home. What else is there to talk about?
There's nothing more better you can do at this point in the season
That's a really interesting placement of your cutout, by the way. I just noticed.
I just now saw that. I don't love that.
Yeah, I do. It's creepy.
Yeah, we got to stop with
There's
the
a
creepy
door with a window on it here in the studio, and Edward placed it, Bart, strategically
I had nothing
looking
to do
through
with
the window in the door. Somebody else did that? Nobody here?
I think the cutout's alive.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe. It may
that's
be.
That's worse.
Continual creepiness. I like it.
But there's nothing better you can do at this point in the season to pad your resume than go on the road and get a quad one win. It's the best thing you can do. And that's what Arkansas did last night. Hats off to them. Hats off to John Calipari, who I think at this point might just be a wizard or something. Like the way he's just the way he's like
Kentucky
figured
fans
this
are
out.
going to have a field day with you about that.
That's fine, but he's done an incredible job with this team.
He has
an incredible job.
I'm sure he wouldn't have scripted it this way, but
no.
You can't script it any better to prove that I can still coach.
Right.
That's right. Like it can't be scripted any better to prove he can still coach.
That's right.
Like if you're trying to get me, I'm the last Corleone, according to John Rothstein. He's the last Corleone, and he's showing that now. 877-377-6963. That's the number to get in on the Chuck and Bo Show. You can text, you can call. Chuck is. Has anybody heard from Chuck?
No.
We think he made it back. We're not sure. We think he made it back. We have interviews on the show today, and so if I were Chuck, I would just sleep. But he might wake up, be excited about the win, and just come on in. Well, we got Clay Henry at 7:30. We got Jerry Palm, bracketologist, at 8, and Hunter Henry in studio at 8:30. By the way, Sam Pittman's going to meet with the media on Thursday at 1:00, and he went on a podcast at some point here recently. And there were some thoughts on why they're going to play a spring game. We just got so many things to get into. But if you want to get in, talk about the basketball game, we got a giant Arkansas getting snubbed again. The whole state should feel offended today, or probably will, or did yesterday, and we'll talk about it today. We'll get into all this when we come back. By the way, it's tax season, and don't forget, H&R Block is here for you. If you still haven't filed, your neighborhood H&R Block is open. They're available. You can put their 70 years of tax prep expertise to work for you and get those taxes squared away today at H&R Block. Back in a minute. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
When you went into the Hall of Fame, I think it was at a Western Sizzling.
I think it was. It was at a motel. It wasn't a hotel. It was a motel.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you suffer from sleep apnea, but you can't stand wearing your CPAP machine, I've got good news. And you need it because not wearing your CPAP can lead to severe health problems.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you don't have good sleep, you're not only affecting your body, it can affect your heart, it can affect your lungs, it can increase weight gain. If you don't get good sleep, you also are not filtering your brain well. So sleep's very, very important.
Dr. Scotty Boulding, who's an Arkansas native and world-renowned surgeon, has proven surgical alternatives that can improve your airway and help you breathe better.
If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. So you need to be wearing your CPAP. So if you're not wearing your CPAP, there are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today. By correcting the jaw deformities that may be causing this obstructive sleep apnea is where we focus.
Call Dr. Boulding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park.
Let's have you pronounce your name.
Chevy,
Zvonimir
Toyota,
Ivisic.
Honda, Acura, Collision Center.
Let's have you pronounce your name.
And if you're shopping pre-owned,
Zvonimir
Fayetteville
Ivisic.
Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom
Let's
Drive
have
in
you pronounce your
Fayetteville.
name.
Proud sponsor of the Chuck and
Zvonimir
Bo Show.
Ivisic.
You know, I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you live near Alex, Alma, Branch, Bloomer, Mountainburg, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect Internet may be available to you right now. Wave is now serving a few non-member areas and adding more in the coming months. Check availability online. Sign up.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Where's my life gone? I don't understand anything that's happening. There's all this stuff going on around me, and I'm just completely clueless. And that's when I decided I'm going to go to bed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We're not sure whether Chuck will be here today or not. We don't know if Adu Thero is going to play again at Arkansas. We don't know if Chuck's ever coming back to the show. I don't know. He went silent last night. Somewhere an hour and a half before he did call the game. Right? Anybody stay up for the game? By the way.
Yeah, I made it.
Wow.
I made it.
I do think like if I were Chuck, and I almost told him this, but you know how Chuck gets when I tell him what to do. Like I was just going to say, hey, we just stay home. But I also didn't want to hurt his feelings. Like we didn't want him, or we don't need him. And so it was a delicate situation. So I just kind of let him know what was going on in the show, tomorrow. But I do think they got out of there quickly last night after the win.
It looked like it, yeah.
Because I saw Matt Zimmerman
on the plane
doing his. I think it was on the bus at the airport, getting to the plane. Where Z had like a phone propped up on a bus seat in front of him, and he was holding a microphone, and people were filing off the bus behind him while he was doing his First Security Bank recap of the game. And I reposted it, as anybody would, on such a monumental effort, and just been like, that guy's getting it done. That is straight up getting it done right there. But Cal doesn't wait around at road games. I mean, he gets out of there. They get moving. So maybe they got back in a, not too late. But now they got a little bit of time, an extra day here.
Yeah.
Before they go, host Mississippi State the opposite time of the day at 11 a.m. on Saturday. And Arkansas has not been great in 11 a.m. games.
Yeah.
Or games before 1 Eastern.
Yeah. Right. They've lost 5 straight dating back to last season. 5 straight games tipping off before 1 p.m. Central.
I didn't make it last night.
I didn't.
That's
either.
okay. At halftime. I tried to do
made it
the
for all of
deal
us.
where, and I realized, we sound old and whatever, and I don't care. It's just who we are. And we get up early. So I tried to do the get tired, take a little nap, get up, watch the game. Didn't work. I made it through a half. So I got up this morning, and then I didn't sleep particularly well because I kept thinking about it and wondering what happened, subconsciously throughout the night. I'd wake up, and it would be like one result, and I wouldn't look. Then I'd wake up an hour later, and it'd be another result, and I wouldn't look. And then I got up finally, and I went in there, and I turned it on in the living room, and I fast-forwarded to the second half, and I watched the game. Never looked at my phone, never did anything. And I just relived it. I actually lived it for the first time, as if it were happening live. I mean, it's the first time I felt like I was emotionally just sort of attached to a game at 4:30 in the morning. It's the first for me. I don't know, have you been there before? Have you ever been?
Can't say that I have.
Yeah,
no.
yeah. It's riveting.
Is it?
Yeah, just like it would be in the evening, except it's not the evening.
It is for some.
I mean, technology's great. I know it's been around for over a decade or whatever that you can, it had a DVR, but YouTube TV puts it right there in the library. So I went to the library and I watched the game.
TiVo.
That was the first one. Hey, listen, I've been around so long that we used to record games on VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm.
Won't tell anybody. I don't think the kids are up. Like, people listening right now are my age.
Yeah,
that's what old people do. They get up early. We get up early.
They're probably nodding their head.
877-377-6963. What did you think about that last night, especially coming off that dud against South Carolina? You keep hearing me talk about tax season and how H&R Block can help you with your refund. Well, Paschal's running a season of savings event that'll really help you with your HVAC if you need it. But maybe you don't have the extra cash laying around, or you don't want to put yourself out there too far, but you've got cash coming. You can get your home comfortable now and pay later when your tax return comes in. It's the smart way to stay comfortable without the upfront hit to your wallet at Paschal. And by the way, if you're a technician and you're looking for a new opportunity, they're the top of the line when it comes to tech opportunities at Paschal. They're hiring now through May 1st. They're looking for the best of the best. No overtime, no on-call. When you're off, they're off. Or when you're off, you're off. You don't have, it's not like, oh, you're off, but you might be on call. And there's a reason why they've been named Arkansas's best place to work 5 years in a row. In fact, you won't find a company like Paschal that's even in that conversation. Apply today at gopaschal.com. If you're a tech, that's the place you want to be. I would evaluate it. I would look into it. Paschal Air, Plumbing and Electric, professional people, professional service, Paschal. This team, according to Jeremy in Clarksville, I've never seen a team that's either so on or so off. Never seen a team that's so on or so off. From a shooting perspective, I mean, sometimes, like the South, how many games have there been 2 games that were kind of like the South Carolina game, that one and another one? I don't remember which game it was, but where you felt like they just couldn't do anything right. But the other games, I felt like they've been right there the whole time. And some of those games, the shots just don't fall. And that's been a difference. But we've seen more of the team lately in the last maybe 8 to 10 games where they look like a team that you thought they would be more like when the season started. But again, everything's new with the identity of the team continues to change. And with Thiero being out, it's a different look. I thought Wagner was great last night, again, leading the team. Avicic wasn't making shots like he sometimes does, but still had 14. Nelly had a good game, 21 points. But Brazil, I mean, that piece where he knocks down a 3 consistently, and then he's everywhere, and his athleticism, that's what you expect, when he's everywhere on the boards, everywhere in the paint, put back dunks, but defensive rebounds at key times, cleaning up a possession where you get a stop. I mean, those things all happened last night. It was a great game, a great effort by Arkansas. We had a call yesterday. I've moved on. I just, I can't count on these guys, and I'm just moving on to baseball. Like, this team's fun to watch. I mean, that was awful at South Carolina. But these guys are playing like they have something to play for. And as a fan, It's all about, look, you want to be relevant all year. You want to be in the top 25. You want to play in big games. You want to play on big stages. You want games to matter. We all want to be interested. We all want to be entertained. But at the end of it all, it's about getting to March. You don't want to go to March ever and feel like you're not in it and you don't have anything to root for. And if you can just get there, and in some years, you don't know, like, is your team even good enough to do anything once they get there? Like, can they make any sort of run? I would argue that depending on how these guys play, the good Razorback team that we've seen is good enough to make some sort of run, to win 2 games. And who knows what the matchup could look like, and it's a one-game scenario. I think they can play with anyone.
They've proven that. I mean, just look at what they've done.
It doesn't mean they will, but I think they can. 877-377-6963, reacting to Arkansas's 90-77 win. And when we come back, the snub of, I don't know if it's the snub of all snubs, but it's hard to find a worse one. Izzy Higginbottom, SEC's leading scorer, left off the first and second teams of the All-SEC coaches teams. Led the league in scoring, left completely off All-SEC accolades. How do you make sense of that? We'll talk about it next and take some of your thoughts coming up. 6:30. It's cold. It's a little rainy. It's a little sleety. High of 47 today. The wind was blowing everywhere last night. You're going to see debris probably when you're driving around this morning, so be mindful of that. Back in a minute on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
I mean, I don't know if it's old or just like...
Well, the world's changing. It's like Bart said a little bit ago. When he summed it up with 2 words. I mean, things change.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Discover the Stonebreaker Hotel, where handcrafted elegance meets modern comfort. Relax in beautifully designed rooms, or book your next reservation at the Stonebreaker Lounge and Restaurant, where you can satisfy cravings with fresh, seasonal takes on traditional favorites. Open daily from 5 to 9 p.m. For more information, log on to stonebreakerhotel.com, located on Markham Road in Fayetteville, where you'll find the Stonebreaker Hotel and Restaurant.
There's nothing we enjoy saying more than I told you so.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Deep 3 on the way, and it's good. It is over. Down goes Auburn. The number 1 team in the country is defeated, and they are rushing the court at Bud Walton Arena. They are rushing the floor at Bud Walton Arena. Don't dance on that. Hey, don't do that. No.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer. St. Louis, Missouri.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean. 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at ServiceMasterPC.com.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
If you live near Alex, Alma, Branch, Bloomer, Mountainburg, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect Internet may be available to you right now. Wave is now serving a few non-member areas and adding more in the coming months. Check availability online. Sign up.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
We take 2 planes in basketball. Needless to say, I'm on plane 2.
But you are the king of plane
Well,
2. You
I
are
don't
the
know.
host. You are the chairman of the second plane.
I wouldn't go so far as to say chairman, but my seat is in the upper half.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, I love it. I love our listeners. I love the people that engage the show. I appreciate it. Doug in Harrison has tracked the plane and says they got back around at 2:10 last night. They left Nashville at 1 a.m. Got back around 2:10. So,
should we set some odds?
We know
on,
Chuck's
on
back.
Whether or not, or what time Chuck?
well,
gets here?
I mean, listen. Let's not even being funny. Like, if I'm Chuck, I stay home. Like, why would
Well,
you?
sure.
I mean, we got an interview at 7:30, 8:30.
Yeah.
All good interviews. I mean, in fact, if he comes in, it's a crowded studio. I'm gonna leave. Like I'll just tag team tap out. Like he hops in, I hop out. Like there's just it's a crowded booth at that point. We
Right.
just let the interviews breathe, let people talk. But also, I mean, Chuck has things to say. The good news is it was a Tuesday game, and we got the rest of the week. It's not like we got to squeeze all his thoughts in today. And we all know this, a well-rested Chuck is a good Chuck. and that's the goal.
Yeah.
Good Chuck. Not up Chuck, good Chuck. That's the Chuck we want. Hey, good morning. I continue to remind you, and I hope you appreciate it, that if you haven't filed your taxes, you need to. And H&R Block has 70 years of tax prep expertise that can go to work for you. And I guarantee you can find one nearby. Just walk in or call and make an appointment. An H&R Block near you can help you get ready for your taxes, get your max refund. 877-377-6963. I want to hear from you. Like what are your thoughts on Arkansas just all of a sudden going from being outside of the house to driving a vehicle through the door and being firmly planted in the house like nobody's moving them? They were outside, like, just knocking, like, well, let me in. And then it's boom. They're, like, just knock down the walls. They're in. That's what Bart told. Bart has guaranteed today. This is breaking news. Not Bart Torvik, not Ken Palm, not Joe Lenardi, not any of these people that everyone thinks, knows what they're talking about. The guy who really knows what he's talking about, Bart Pullman, host of the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room, has Arkansas firmly in the NCAA tournament. Both feet planted outside the charge arc, standing there, telling anyone who wants to try to do something about it, I dare you. We're in.
Do I have like a sword too? Am I holding?
I don't know. I mean, that was the vision I had.
It was a lovely picture you painted there.
You're immovable.
Look, yeah. If you take the loss at South Carolina off the table, and I'm gonna get into detail on that in just a second. Arkansas 7-4 recently against really good competition. This is a team that has elevated their game when it matters most and in the big moments. Now, they haven't won all those games, but they played really well against Alabama. They played really well at Auburn. And when I say well, I mean they were in the game. This is a team that can play with anybody. Look, bad games happen. Even good teams have dud performances. Like, it happens. Sometimes it's just not your night. And that's what happened at South Carolina. And you'll hear people say, well, wins and losses have to matter. And yes, they do. But remember, the selection committee is also looking at what these teams have done and looking at what they look like and looking at what they've accomplished. They're not just studying a piece of paper with numbers and analytics on it. At some point, watching games and seeing what teams do matters as well. And what Arkansas has done.
That's why it was important to play well last night that way, because it helps you forget. Edwards got me. What do we have here? An NCAA tournament.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well, there's the vibe. There it is.
They're watching games too. And what Arkansas's done in the wake of the injury to Boogie, in the wake of the injury to Thero, is really impressive. And I think that's going to move the selection committee. I think the job that Cal has done this year is really impressive. And Arkansas has a good enough resume to make the NCAA tournament.
I'm going to take a step out here, and maybe it's too much for some people. But to me, I'll ask the question. You can talk about Bruce Pearl. I get it. I mean, they're the best team in the league.
I know where you're going.
And so that makes everybody say, oh, there's a Coach of the Year candidate, and I don't disagree with that. But who's done a better job dealing with adversity and getting the team to continue to not give up and not go away and be in the NCAA tournament hunt? And, I mean, the swing of emotions, the roller coaster, I mean, you talk about being that way for fans. They've managed to avoid that as a team, like letting it get them. And they just keep coming. And he's had to figure out. I mean, he said it after last night's win that he's had 4 different teams this year.
Yeah.
And if you're sort of a surface fan and you don't really think about the inner workings of a team, I get it, but I'll explain this to you. The makeup of your team changes the way that you play. And when you don't have certain pieces, you have to play a different way. And they've had to change that several times this year. And to their credit, they've figured out a way to win games and put themselves in the position they're in, 7-10 in the league, with a chance to be 8-10 coming Saturday.
Yeah.
But what we were talking about earlier, for them to go win the way they did last night, it helps alleviate the concern that they left any of the committee members thinking after the South Carolina game. And I'll just continue to remind you, it's a public service announcement. Everything is short-term and long-term at the same time. We react to the games, but reacting to the game doesn't always give you a definitive long-term outcome. That's what's different about this game, according to Bart, though. There's a definitive long-term picture here, which Bart thinks that this puts them in for the reasons he's listed. 877-377-6963. If you want to hop in here, you can text or call the show. Izzy Higginbottom. Okay, first player in the history of the SEC that we know of to lead the league in scoring and not be awarded an all-SEC honor.
Yeah.
No first, no. So 17
by the coaches.
By the coaches. The coaches who she scored on to lead the league in scoring.
Shame on them.
17 players were named all SEC players in this league.
Which is ridiculous.
And she wasn't named one of them. The problem with this is there's no one to answer for it. And if you think awards don't matter, that's fine. But if we're going to have them and they're going to be treated as a distinction, can we have somebody at least represent the awards or the announcement or the distinction so we can get an answer for why people are or aren't on there? I mean,
but by the way,
these are legacy type things.
Yeah, just to put it in a little bit more perspective, Izzy led the nation in points scored this year. Like the national leader. Nobody in the country scored more points
currently
than
it
her.
ranks 5th nationally according to an article I read today.
Her points.
Oh, total points, not
points.
average.
Right, not
Okay.
average. Nobody scored more points over the course of the season than Izzy Higginbottom.
She averaged 24 a game, 23.9. But total number of points scored in the year on the season, nobody scored as many as she did in the entire country.
Right. She had 742 this season. The next closest was South Dakota's Grace Larkins at 719.
All right, so what happened here? So it's the first time, just to make sure I finish this thought and we're real clear, the first time an SEC leading scorer has not been on an all-SEC team in the history of the league. Here's Mike Neighbors yesterday, Arkansas basketball coach, when asked about it.
I've had some people text me and said they all voted for her. And if all the people that texted me that said they voted for her really did, she would have made it. So I got to figure out who's trying to pee on my leg and telling me it's raining and who's really being honest with me.
I mean, for real. So what happened here? Is this an Arkansas thing? A lot of the responses we got yesterday on social media when we posted about this, at Chuck and Bo Show, if you don't follow us on social media, we'd love to have you. Come along. Come along for the ride. A lot of people responding, well, the team wasn't very good, and that's why this happened. Well, I don't understand. Like, is she one of the best 18 players and 17 players in the league or not? But, and if you want to argue that she's not, then what is the criteria?
Right.
But, like, come on. You can't be the leading scorer in the league and lead the country in total points scored and not be one of the 17 players honored. And quite frankly, we'd be griping if she was on the second team.
Right.
But for her not to be on the team at all, come on, man. Like, is this an Arkansas thing? Is this an Arkansas? And by the way, like, is it like it's not just because the team's not very good? It's got to be a lack of respect for the program. I mean, you think that would happen?
Look, when
at Tennessee, you think that would happen at LSU?
When I see a South Carolina player who averaged
even in a down year, I don't think that would happen.
Who averaged 13 points and 4.9 rebounds a game make the first team over Izzy, that's a red flag. That's pathetic. Let's just call it what it is. It's pathetic.
Well, again, like, I'm fine if you want to give me some explanation, but nobody's going to.
Right.
So it's like the coaches vote, nobody answers for it.
Right.
And again, if you don't think it matters, fine, but don't tell me it matters and then not have anybody there to answer for it.
Right.
We got to hit a break. We'll come back, take your calls. We got some coming in, but we got to go do this first, so we'll come back and do that next. 877-377-6963. 648. Good morning, the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations, Coach.
I made some good calls today.
You sure did. You sure did.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit GoPaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
Ready or not, it is tax season. But luckily, H&R Block is here. Whether you need expert help with your taxes or simply have a question or two, your neighborhood H&R Block is here for you. Taxes are hard, but filing with H&R Block is easy. Walk in or make an appointment and get 100% accuracy and your max refund guaranteed. Put 70 years of tax expertise to work for you. Get those taxes squared away today at H&R Block.
Did you know Chevy of Fayetteville is the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas? That means nobody sells more cars, trucks, or SUVs than Chevy of Fayetteville. They've been a part of our community for over 25 years. They're supporters of our local schools and the Razorbacks. And they're the best after the sale. An award-winning service and parts department, a waiting area, complimentary loaners. So go see Chris Mark in Denver and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
The doors are open, and it's a new era of elegance. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry has unveiled its stunningly redesigned 8,500 square foot showroom for an unmatched luxury experience. There's breathtaking jewelry, of course, expert service, and private viewing rooms designed for comfort. And they've got an in-house cafe with handcrafted coffee to go along with a special coffee table book celebrating Arkansas's heritage. Because it's more than jewelry, it's your story at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Bo Mattingly, and McDonald Eye Associates is my one-stop for any vision need. The progressives they have me in are a game changer, and my new sunglasses are going to be great for baseball season. McDonald Eye was the first practice in the state to perform LASIK, and they have the most experience. They also have the new vision correction options for all ages, including cataract and clear lens replacement to see your best from all distances. For your best vision, McDonald Eye is the place to go.
You want to talk about washed? You're being brainwashed by idiots. You're following idiots.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools. Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports.
I think the boys program, we definitely thrive off the energy and the emotion. I think as a coach, it's a big thing to kind of just help those guys rein that in, myself included. You know, there's times we have to take a step back, take a breath during a timeout, and just sit there and breathe.
New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
They got to understand, Luka's a different beast, man. He smokes, he drinks, he overeats.
He's the Babe Ruth.
He is.
He
is the Babe Ruth of the NBA, and they need to leave him alone.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Wonder what they're talking about over the Blakeman's Coffee Cafe today, Cafe B inside of Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers, where they've got their own barista now. It's like quite a thing. I can't wait to go up there later and talk about this Razorback win over a latte and a macaroon. They got macaroons in there. Listen, I mean, like it. I got to stay away, though. I'd eat like 10 of them. Fantastic. What an experience when you go to Blakeman's, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Dan is in Crossett. Dan, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, Bo. Hope you guys are doing well. Just real quick, unfortunately, I think you're right about the respect for the women's program. And I mean, you go all the way back till what's that been 15, 20 years ago? We told Gary Blair we didn't need him anymore, and it has been just. I mean, we've had some short stints, some decent seasons, but really we've just been terrible, and that's just the truth. And I'm afraid that stigma's followed the team. Just to be honest, there's really no other explanation. But I did want to mention about Coach Cal. How many times have we heard even Arkansas coaches have a terrible game and say, well, it's a dud, we're going to bury it and move on, and the next week you go out and you lay another turd. Yeah. And, hey, he backed it up. He said it's a dud, we're going to forget it, and they did. And that very rarely happens. It really does. And I think this, I've got a lot of admiration for this team and pride the way these guys have just overcome a lot. And just, many people have written them off, including myself, and they just keep finding a way to come back. And I think, regardless of what their success is from here on out in the tournament, I think this team has left a mark just on their career.
Yeah, they have. Back in a minute.
We care a lot about supporting Arkansas businesses here on the Chuck and Bo Show, and we both like keeping our rides looking good. Splash Car Wash just became our new neighbors here in Fayetteville. They're a locally owned Arkansas business, and they've been serving the state since 1989. They're good folks, and you can get a free car wash by texting Splash Arkansas to 22322. That's Splash Arkansas to 22322.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge. If you suffer from sleep apnea, but you can't stand wearing your CPAP machine, I've got good news. And you need it because not wearing your CPAP can lead to severe health problems.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you don't have good sleep, you're not only affecting your body, it can affect your heart, it can affect your lungs, it can increase weight gain. If you don't get good sleep, you also are not filtering your brain well. So sleep's very, very important.
Dr. Scotty Boulding, who's an Arkansas native and world-renowned surgeon, has proven surgical alternatives that can improve your airway and help you breathe better.
If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. So you need to be wearing your CPAP. So if you're not wearing your CPAP, there are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today. By correcting the jaw deformities that may be causing this obstructive sleep apnea is where we focus.
Call Dr. Boulding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Bo, when your show went off a few years ago, it was like I've been lost ever since then. And I just really appreciate your show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny skies. It'll be blustery and cooler. Our high temperatures this afternoon, mid-40s north, low 50s south with winds out of the northwest. up to near 45 miles per hour. Clear and cold, upper 20s to low 30s overnight. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime.
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479-STADIUM.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
KERX Paris Sportsman. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Wagner paints.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work, and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
If I were to buy you a piece of jewelry, Chuck,
yeah,
what would you want?
A nice watch.
A nice
good.
watch.
Yeah, nice watch.
How about a bracelet? You like those beads?
Nah,
that people
I'm not really into that.
Would you wear beads? Like
no,
on your
I'm not into
wrist?
that. No pinky rings, nothing like that. But I wouldn't mind a good watch.
A pinky ring for Chuck.
I know. I am not a jewelry guy. I'm not a jewelry guy. No gold chains. I'm not into male jewelry. It's not my thing.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's start on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still happy.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Chuck got back in the middle of the night, so I'm in here, and hopefully he's resting comfortably, because a well-rested Chuck is the Chuck that we all know and love. And we're actually, I don't know if you know this, depending on how much of the show you've heard lately, but Chuck passed away on February 2nd. We didn't know. we didn't know, as according to AI. We had no idea, and we found out like almost a week ago now, and it's been sort of traumatic, really, for the crew. And it's weird not having him here today.
It's been a trying time.
Right. Well, I don't know if it's been trying. It's just been awkward. I felt like for a time here we had an AI Chuck. Like, are you the real Chuck? Because that doesn't sound like my friend Chuck, but it sounds a lot like him. And so we just need him to get his rest. We're happy to have him. But in this moment, he's not here at the moment. But if you picked up on that AI report, it wasn't true.
So, I've started asking Twitter's AI every day, like, what are some things that we should discuss on the show?
Yes, yesterday it was my hidden dunking skills, which makes no sense because I can't imagine anyone who dunks hiding the fact that they dunk.
Right.
Why would you hide that?
Right.
Yeah.
So today, one of the suggestions...
Especially if you're 5'6".
Right, exactly. Today, one of the suggestions was something off the wall, like Chuck's reaction to an AI suggesting wild topics, and then in parentheses it said,
like
apparently,
his untimely death.
Apparently, this has precedent. Well, no crap. It was you who said it.
Right. You got to watch that AI. It can be very beneficial, but can't get carried away with it. So the Hogs win last night. We're reacting to that. And Izzy Higginbottom left off the All-SEC teams. 17 players, first and second team. Izzy Higginbottom scored, 30, 40 points multiple times this year, led the league in scoring, scored more points than anybody in college basketball on the women's side all season long. But somehow she's not worthy of an All-SEC selection. And maybe there's a point to be made here. Maybe there is. But my thing about the league is if you're going to do this, and there's going to be controversy around this, like if you don't know that, you're not paying attention. Like you have to know that there's going to be controversy around this. You're just going to leave it there? Like just leave it there. So you get up on one hand and talk about all these student athletes and how it means more and the well-being and how you care about them and all this crap. And then you don't have anything to say? Like, give me some sort of explanation here. Like, if you want to trot out Doris Burke or whomever you want to put out here to talk about the talent in the SEC, and these are the best players, and this is why it happened this way, and even though Izzy Higginbottom led the league in scoring, she's not one of the best 17 players in the league, and you want to roll that out and back it up with something, at least give me something. Because otherwise... This is like
it's embarrassing.
It's a crime.
It's embarrassing.
It's a crime on awards.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not the biggest awards guy, but again, if you're going to make it as though it matters, that's the way you're going to present it. Then it also matters when the leading scorer for the first time in history gets left off the entire two teams. And like, is there no evaluation of that before you make the announcement?
Like, hey, coaches, maybe you should take a second look at this.
Like,
who's holding them accountable? The answer's nobody.
Can you give me the Mike Neighbors reaction one more time? I mean, he said all of these coaches in the league, all these coaches know each other. And they're like, I don't know what happened. We voted for it. Well, that's another question.
I've had some people text me and said they all voted for her. And if all the people that texted me that said they voted for her really did, she would have made it. So I got to figure out who's trying to pee on my leg and telling me it's raining and who's really being honest with me.
It's just garbage, man. It really is. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pathetic.
I just think it's hard to tell Arkansans. It's not true. The SEC has nothing against you. And quit all this conspiracy stuff when games are officiated poorly or Mark Curls has some phantom PI call against Florida that steals the game from you in Gainesville or some late hit on Tony Bua or all of these moments that you remember of games being officiated in a way that hurt you. It's hard to tell you, like, hey, these things happen. They just do. Like, nobody's against you. Nobody's, looking at Arkansas and trying to keep you down. It just happens. And then you have a moment where you go earn something. And if leading the SEC in scoring's not enough to earn one of the best 17 slots in the league on the first or second team all SEC selection by the coaches, then, like, how do I sit here and continue to tell you it's not something against Arkansas? Now, I guess I'm trying to think of this objectively. I really am.
Yeah.
So it is just the opinion of the coaches. So if you're the league, correct, I guess you could just say, I mean, I don't know, like, it's not up to us. It's the opinion of the coaches.
Or whoever fills out their ballots for them.
Yeah. But again, like, then who are you? Like, right, is there any accountability? Does anything matter? Like, okay, well, that's how the coaches feel. But it sure would be nice to see Arkansas do something crazy at the SEC tournament and knock a few teams off, and then that's what you want to do. You want to be able to tell, hey, did you vote for me?
Yeah.
Did you vote for me?
Right.
Did you vote for me?
As he goes out and
did
drops
you vote
50
for me
today?
Did you vote for me? What a win for Arkansas last night at Vanderbilt. 877-377-6963 if you want to get in here. Cal talked about this team overcoming adversity. Let me give you some numbers first before we hear from him. Razorbacks got off to a difficult start. They trailed by 9. They go on to win the game 90-77. They went on a 13-0 run towards the end of the second half that really kind of created the separation that they would keep for the remainder of the game. The win snaps a 3-game road losing streak for the Hogs, who are now 18-12, 7-10 in the league. We said weeks ago, we thought if they got the 7 wins in conference play, that'd be good enough to make the NCAA tournament. Bart believes that to be factually correct today, as much as an opinion can be a fact. Right?
Yeah.
You think they're in?
I think they're in. Yeah.
Every player had at least 7 points last night. Arkansas is playing with just 7 players right now. Their 2 best players are out. Brazil, 16 points, 14 rebounds. Describe Trevin Brazil in a word. Athletic, explosive, dynamic.
Those are all pretty
talented.
Good.
What's the one that's like you're not sure which guy you're getting? That's like, I'm not going to say, I mean, the one that comes to mind, but I don't mean this like as a person, but like as a player, it's like bipolar. Like what are you, but like I see him playing games too where the shots look good, they just don't fall. But when he's knocking down the 3, he was everywhere last night. I think he made 3 3-pointers. They were all critical. A big one late in the game to keep, the separation when they cut it to 9 or whatever. Big one. Nelly had 21, just shy of his season high 24. Arkansas played like its season, like they played desperate. And they played aggressive and they attacked the entire game. They had 48 points in the paint. And John Sunvold laid this out yesterday, that Arkansas was more athletic. They needed to be in attack mode, not settle. 48 points in the paint as a result of that. 18 points off turnovers, 17 fast break points. And the Hogs have moved up to 11th in the standings. Now, if you're thinking about how many teams people expected this league to get into the tournament, a number that was thrown out quite a bit was 13. Then people have backed off of that to 12, and now maybe 11. So we'll see if Bart's right that this gets them in, regardless of what they do against Mississippi State and in the SEC tournament. But, boy, it sure would be nice to win one more game. Mississippi State lost at home to Texas last night. What did the Texas win do for the bubble and them? And does it affect Arkansas at all? Hold that thought. I want to just also mention that Wagner had 14 points all in the second half. And the job he's done, they haven't been perfect, by the way. They turned it over. They made boneheaded passes last night. I know it was driving the coaching staff crazy at times. Billy Richmond is like he's a little bit like Brazil. Like you watch the guy play and you're like, my gosh, he's explosive. He's talented. So fun to watch. What are you doing? Don't do that. But these guys have talent, man. They do have the players. And they're not perfect. We've seen that for sure. But what you got last night from them is a team that can play with anybody. And they just got to continue to clean up some of those mistakes they're making. But what did the Texas – so when I'm watching the Texas game right before Arkansas comes on, and Texas ends up beating – didn't they go to overtime and beat Mississippi State in overtime at home?
Yes. They almost blew that game.
Yeah, I thought what Texas did?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I thought – and they've done that a lot. But I thought Texas winning was a bad thing for Arkansas.
It was in Starkville, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. But at home, if it wasn't clear. The first thought I had was it's not great for Arkansas because they're both bubble teams. And this is before Arkansas had played. But the second thought I had was they have the tiebreaker. They've beaten them twice. So if these two teams are even, I would think Arkansas would surge ahead for that reason. I don't know if it actually works out like that in the minds of the committee or not. But did that damage Arkansas's chances or hurt or help? I mean, you've had this whole bubble watch going.
The only thing it really did is it dropped Mississippi State a few spots in the net. And that Mississippi State game's now it's a quad 2 game instead of a quad 1 game. And so, you know, that kind of hurts Arkansas. But no, I don't think it really changes anything. I don't think Texas had fallen off so much. I still think Texas has work to do to make the tournament. I still think they need to win another game or two.
All right, let's take some calls. Patrick's at Stuttgart. Patrick, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bo. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, welcome.
Hey, so first I wanted to kind of answer your question that you were just asking a minute ago about Brazil. Then I got one of my own. But, you know, on the question of Brazil, like what has been, you know, when he has played for you, you know, what's been missing? And to me, it's poise. You know, he's had a tendency to kind of play kind of frenetic and kind of, you know, in a kind of frantic way, and that's caused him to sort of, you know, just make a lot of silly mistakes that, you know, we didn't expect from somebody who had that much experience, you know, coming into the season on a young team. And, you know, when he plays with more poise, you know, his shot tends to fall, he pitches rebounds, and those are the main two things we need out of him. But my question was, you know, are you hearing anything as far as, because I know Kevin McPherson report right before the South Carolina game that Pharaoh was probably out for the season. Now, I know you kind of walked that back a little bit since then, but I just wondered, are you hearing anything as far as the status of Phil and Boogie, if there's a possibility that they might come back, because they haven't declared them out either. You know?
Yeah, I can't imagine. Thanks for the call, Patrick. Either one of these guys are coming back. I don't think Thero's coming back, and I don't think Boogie's coming back. I think Boogie's, you know, injury is one that you definitely want to make sure it's 100% healed. I mean, he had surgery on that, right? And then you've got Thero, who I think is probably not having surgery, but also in a situation where if he plays, maybe he feels like it hurts his ability to get to where he needs to get by the time the NBA combine and workouts come around. I just can't imagine either one of these guys are coming back. I'd be surprised. And I don't know that we're going to hear that from anyone, but I'm not expecting Thero back. We'll take more thoughts coming up. By the way, football season might be over, but the Oaklawn Sports app never stops. You can download it on the Oaklawn Sports app in the Google Play Store, the Apple Store. Futures, outright winner, player prop bets, it's all there. You can bet on the NCAA tournament coming up. New customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you sign up with the Oaklawn Sports app. Arkansas's best sporting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. And by the way, it's tax season. Don't forget, H&R Block just around the corner. Get your max refund guaranteed. They got 70 years of tax expertise at work for you. Find an H&R Block near you because there is one. H&R Block. It's 7:18 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Can we just say, for all of you who get up early in the morning and you work so hard, man, we're glad you're here. We just really appreciate all the work you do to make Arkansas better.
You talking to me?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, now more than ever, it's important to partner with a well-trained real estate professional, someone who understands all the ins and outs of the game and makes sense of all the things we read about in the real estate market every day. That's why I've partnered with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, from the very beginning. And that's why I recommend them to you. I remember the first time I bought a home. I didn't have any idea what was going on. They did, fortunately, and they guided me through the process. They listen. And perhaps that's the most important thing. You want someone on your side of the table who understands your needs and who listens. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Fayetteville and Bentonville. They're in the River Valley as well in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town. And you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
If you're having issues with your gutters or drainage around the house, you need to call Hog Trough Gutters. They're locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drains. Plus, they're fully licensed and insured, and every job comes with a 20-year guarantee. Hog Trough Gutters services all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Log on to their website, hoggutters.com, to find out more. That's hog, Gutters.com.
And I listen in every day. Everybody know that. I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, man.
Good.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio.
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you will consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
thought, my subconscious was, gosh, another late game. And then my next thought was, change your flippin' attitude. What's wrong with you? Quit being so negative.
What was your reply to yourself?
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Stop being so negative.
Was this a long
Embrace
conversation
it.
or was it a short one?
It was a short one.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
What they've been through. We started 0-5. Like, it's over. He stinks. He can't coach. They can't play. He stinks. That kid stinks. And they were, some of the guys, they were bazooka shots at some of these kids. And they withstood it. They persevered. And I kept telling them, when you get through this, you're going to be so much stronger, mentally tougher, that there'll be things later in life that happen to you that won't faze you, that would knock you on your back if you hadn't gone through this. For them to win the game like this, when they had to, and do it together, it's just, you know, I'm enjoying the whole year, to be honest with you. I really have. We were 0-5, and we broke champagne when we beat Georgia, because I knew we weren't going to go 0-19. We might go 1-18, but we weren't going 0-19.
Not enjoying the entire year. Have you ever seen like a coach here? I mean, there's been some really good coaches here. Just seeing this up close, it's like Cal wills his team to a different mindset than whatever they're in. And it doesn't always lead to a win. But you can just, like, he just refuses to be negative. Like, just pulled down into the dumps of despair and woe is me. He just refuses. Do you feel that? And the team seems to take that on. I'm not surprised they went out and played well last night. Now, I'm still at the point where you watch the team and you're like, you know, like, do you trust them? Like, you know,
Well,
but they just, I find it remarkable the job that they have done as a team, as a staff, to be in the position they're in, given everything they've been through and some of the duds they've had, and at times where they look like they have no business, you know, being out there. But if you're not done counting them out, I mean, that was a big win. That was a tough win. You know, if you go back to the South Carolina game, in that first half, as poorly as they played, they had every chance to really make that a 5-point game or a tie game at halftime. They couldn't make a shot.
Defense kept them in it.
Yeah, I mean, they can play with anybody because defensively they give themselves a chance. I mean, Chuck made a bunch of great points about other things besides shooting at South Carolina. I still maintain, like, missing all those shots, you can't win if you don't score. But for them to come out and for that not to affect them in a gym that traditionally is tough for teams to shoot in and them to shoot 50% from the field, I mean, what an effort last night. Charlie's in Camden. Charlie, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Well, let me throw this in too, Bo. I'm going to come right behind you on that. Like, the thing is Vanderbilt is a good basketball team at home this year. And in general, like you just said, it is very, very difficult to go down there and win. I don't care what anybody says. It's just very hard to go down there and win. And, look, I was watching the game with my pops last night. You know, and that game started at 9 Central, guys. And he only could make it through the first half. My dad is really young, but he's in his mid-60s, and I'm 32 and old. So, you know, one of us had to give in, and it was him. But I did come home and watch the rest of it. It's only 3 minutes from the house. Man, just like you said, Bo, a great team effort. So, you know, even though Billy makes you scratch your head, you talk about the turnovers, the thing about him is he just does so many other things well. His effort, his ability to play hard, his defensive effort. I mean, the guy he flashes so much. And, you know, it's hard not to play him. You know, I know the turnovers make you scratch your head, but this is a guy, too. Like, I think we have to give the benefit of the doubt to from this standpoint. This kid's never played point guard in his life, I don't think. And he's been thrusted into that as a second point guard for this team because of injuries. and he's still learning. He's a baby. I mean, I don't know, what is he? He's just 18, right, Bo? I mean, he's a baby and still learning how to play the position, and he's going to continue to improve, and it's only going to help him. But man, that TB last night that we saw was that was one of the best. That's the TB that we've seen at times in the past, and I was proud of him. And I think the thing with TB, somebody said poise earlier. I think it's been more mental with TB. I think with the due out, though, it opens the door for him up in his head where it's like, you know what, I don't have to worry about it. I just got to go play, you know. And, I mean, I'm with you, Bo. I don't think Thiero or Boogie are coming back. These are the 7 guys they have, and this is what we got to roll with. And so, you know, I'm with Bart, too. I think this team is in, regardless of what happens on Saturday, but it would be cool to see them finish it off strong, at least against Mississippi State. And I think that, and honestly, I think they will. I think they're going to win Saturday. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Charlie. We'll take more of your thoughts coming up. Clay Henry's also going to join us when we come back. How about this? The 7 players they have, they all scored 7 or more points last night. Adu, some big minutes. I think they know what they have now. Like Cal mentioned, this is like the 4th team he's had this year. The identities had to change because of who's in, who's not. And I think these are your guys the rest of the way. And hopefully, you know, nobody else is out. You know, hopefully they can keep these 7 guys healthy.
You had a guy that was out 4 months with his foot. Jonas looked good today. He played good. He's coming around. Then you have a guy fall off a golf cart, wrist. Nelly, just now recovering. Had a guy go on a scooter and go down. You have Boogie go down. You have Adu go down twice now. Early in the year, he's out a couple weeks, and we survived. We're down to 7 guys, yet the rent is still due now.
It is. And is he a Coach of the Year candidate? I'm not suggesting he's going to win it, but should he be considered? Like, if you're going to list off the top 2 or 3 coaching jobs in the league this year, is that hyperbole to say that Cal should be considered for Coach of the Year? I don't think so. I mean, there's some coaches that have done a really good job, have really good teams this year. But given the uniqueness of the circumstance and everything that has happened, which you heard there, rent is still due and they're still paying. Hey, by the way, if you want to move from renting to owning, maybe you're a first-time home buyer, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, can get you from contract to close in a hurry. At least that's what happened for my son and my daughter-in-law. It was like a 30-day process. And they felt like Jerry Maguire was sitting on their side of the table. There's nothing like being able to hand off your family when it comes to buying a home to somebody you can trust. They're going to find where all the money can come from. They're going to find out if it's possible. They'll make it happen, and they'll get you from contract to close. Turning houses into homes since 1978. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Clay Henry joins us next, 7:31 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
I'm not telling you that everything's great. I'm also not willing to say everything's terrible.
The Chuck and Bo
I'm here
Show.
on line 2.
Did you know Chevy of Fayetteville is the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas?
We
That
got you,
means Nobody
Clay.
sells more cars, trucks, or SUVs than Chevy of Fayetteville. They've been a part of our community for over 25 years. They're supporters of our local schools and the Razorbacks. And they're the best after the sale. An award-winning service and parts department, a waiting area, complimentary loaners. So go see Chris Mark in Denver and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville, inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Man, can you imagine if we all lived together, if we just walked into the living room at like 6 a.m. and just started talking each other's heads off? There's no good morning. I can't have my first cup of
somebody
coffee.
would get shot.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
seconds to go. Madden, right side. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Qualls with the dunk at the buzzer. It goes and Arkansas wins. It goes and Arkansas wins. Qualls with a two-hand finish. Arkansas wins the ball game.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The Great American Conference Basketball Championships are coming to Fort Smith, March 6th through the 9th at Fort Smith Southside High School. See the best men's and women's teams in the GAC. Battle it out for an automatic bid into the NCAA Division II tournament. Get your tickets and more information for the Great American Conference Tournament at GreatAmericanConference.com. It's the GAC Basketball Championships, March 6th through the 9th in Fort Smith at Southside High School.
Are you using Facebook as your website? Here are 3 reasons why that's a bad idea. 1, not everyone has it, which means you're missing out on customers. 2, you're not in control, Facebook is. You can't customize the look or fully brand your page. 3, unless you pay for ads, your page isn't getting seen. Let the Modular Orange team help you own your space online with a fully custom website that's only $95 per month. Go to modularorange.com to find out how. That's modularorange.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson here at First Financial Mortgage. My mortgage lender, Ethan Adamson. Ethan, congratulations. Over 300 5-star reviews.
Yeah, Ty, we pride ourselves on delivering a 5-star service during the entire mortgage process.
What sets you apart from everyone else?
I think communication, how quickly we work, we get you closed on time or early. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
We all make plans for the future, like car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barley.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Jam Mart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. Jam Mart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero Jam Mart locations. And stop by any of the 6 Jam Mart locations in the area. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools. Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports.
I think the boys program, we definitely thrive off the energy and the emotion. I think as a coach, it's a big thing to kind of just help those guys rein that in, myself included. You know, there's times we have to take a step back, take a breath during a timeout, and just sit there and breathe.
New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com. You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
So Arkansas puts me through a lot of pain.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Nothing painful about last night. By the way, if you want to get your car washed this week, here's an idea for you. Splash Car Wash. Get a free car wash by texting Splash Arkansas to 22322. 22322. Splash Arkansas to 22322 and get a free car wash from Splash. We've recently got some new neighbors here in Fayetteville. They're located throughout the state, but they kind of moved in next to us. And Splash Car Wash is locally owned and operated Arkansas business. Some of these car washes aren't. But if you like doing business with local folks, get a great car wash and get a free car wash. You do it at Splash when you text Splash Arkansas to 22322. Clay Henry's with us, longtime friend of the show, Hall of Famer, and was watching, no doubt, intently last night as Arkansas beat Vanderbilt in an impressive performance, Clay. It didn't look anything like the team we saw at South Carolina. Good morning. What'd you think?
Well, I came out of my recliner when DJ Wagner hit that 30-footer with the shot clock going.
Yeah.
That was a jolt to my system. My dog jumped off the couch and ran into other rooms like he's cuckoo.
There's one off the bingo card. Cuckoo.
Well, that's my nickname.
Okay. Here we are. Here we're 1 minute in, and we've got this going on. No, that was a big shot. How about Brazil? Big. It's not just what your stats are; it's when you show up. And how many times did Brazil show up throughout this game? With a rebound, or drawing a foul, or knocking down a big shot,
or a block.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all there. We have seen that flash, in 3 years. We've seen it. But it hadn't been consistent, and that's the frustration with this team is that that's there. Let's go back to last spring when he's in the portal, and I talked to a fan. I don't want him back. I talked to another one. It's like, well, he's got this immense talent. Yeah, he does. And it took a little while, I think, for Calipari to kind of sign off on that deal. And it's a deal. I mean, you make a deal with these guys. I don't know that he wanted to for a while, or just trying to figure it out. But he won him a game last night, didn't he?
Yeah. Vanderbilt 14-2 at home this year. Going into that game last night, they've beaten some really good teams. I thought Arkansas made them look not very good. Yeah. Their coach is in the conversation for, at least when you read people covering the SEC talking about who should be SEC Coach of the Year. Their coach is in the conversation. Should John Calipari be in that conversation?
Yeah, if you take out the 0 for 5, he should.
Well, I leave it in there.
Or maybe the 0 for 5 is part of it with the injuries. And, I listened to his press conference last night. By the way, they're just fascinating. I mean, he's an open book. I mean, he's gonna tell you what's, there's some coaches, they get up there and it's coach speak. He tells you what's going on with him and what he's trying to do and the mentality of the team. And I thought they played with great pride. And I know they were embarrassed by the way they played at South Carolina, but I had talked about, and I've seen this in athletics so many times. First of all, they're shorthanded, and they summed it up. Summoned it a great effort against Texas. And now Texas did that last night at Mississippi State. I don't know if you realize it, but they put it together in a way that might get them in the tournament. I don't know. They've stumbled worse than Arkansas of late. But they had spent so much energy. It's late night game. I mean, it's just back to, these midweek games that start this late. It's like, hey, you got to go to class the next day, boys, just in case you didn't know. And it's tough. And then they didn't have really a practice between South Carolina and this, but so they played on pride, I guess is my point, after just emptying the tank last week against Texas. And now let's be honest, looking forward, they emptied the tank last night. They probably got in about 2. I don't hear Chuck's voice. Has he made it back yet?
No, they got back at 2 a.m. He's not in here. We need a well-rested Chuck.
That's what I mean.
For the rest of the week.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's old, kind of decrepit sometimes.
Well, I don't know. He passed away according to AI. We're trying to take it easy on the man. I mean, we lost him back February 2nd. He's made quite a comeback
at times.
Well, it's his obit should not have been written. Let's just put it that
way. Rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated. Yes,
I'm sure there's an obit already in the tank for me. It's like let's hope they keep it there for a while.
We got all the best of Clay moments on ice. Yeah. Listen, you're right. I mean, the schedule. The quick turn.
It's awful.
But here's the thing. Like, this team, I don't remember covering a team, Clay, in the last 25 years or so that was as good as this team can be, but have the moments that they also have where they have a record that's 3 games under 500 right now in the league. But when this team plays, when they show up, they can play with anybody, and it's really been sort of confusing, I think, and hard for fans.
Well, you don't know what to count on. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what you trust. Yeah, but also if you take a step back and you say, why is this happening? Cal said after the game last night, this is like his 4th team this year.
First of all, don't ever forget that he's a Hall of Fame coach.
Well, I think people have. A lot of people did coming into this year, like at
No
Kentucky
question.
and throughout the season.
But listen, what he's done is coach a new team every year with sometimes puppies, and get them to a level by the end of the year because he's coaching them up. He's fixing things. He's just imagine the egos of these guys. I mean, they're unbelievably talented, and they've been told that by everybody in their posse. Everybody around them has told them, well, you're going to be Kobe Bryant. You're going to be LeBron James. You're going to be in the league next. You got 12 months at Kentucky. You got 12 months at Arkansas, or maybe 10 months, and then you're going to be in the league. And then he has to kind of sort through that and get them their minds right. Do you think that's easy? No. I think that might be the hardest thing to do, is to take the egos. I mean, let's just face it. I've dealt with you.
Yeah. It's unbearable
ego,
at times.
You're a little bitty guy, but your ego is
massive.
just immense.
It's massive.
It's immense.
Massive.
And
Thank you.
I mean, maybe it's deserved. I mean,
right.
I think you're good.
Right.
Same thing
I'm
dealing
so
with
good.
Chuck.
I'm amazingly
Every once in a
awesome.
while, I just want to slap Chuck.
Right. Wow.
Because he's just,
I don't know. What are you on this morning?
Guy.
Like, what are you? Is it
Well, I'm
mushroom
just
coffee?
telling you
Is it like
what
what
he
is
has
it?
to do on a daily basis is that he's got to rein these guys in and make them good teammates and get them to play for each other. I thought they were terrific last night in the way they played for each other. That when a guy went out of the game, you could tell he was telling the next guy, get it done. You can see that weird bench situation, guys up underneath the basket. I saw Big Z, urging his guys on. I saw Brazil on the floor more than I have in the past. When you see guys on the floor, they care for it. They care. It's pride. Now, remember when they played Alabama and they kind of charged back at the end, and Nate Oates said afterwards, there's a lot of pride in that bunch.
Yeah.
A lot of pride. And, I kind of thought about it. It's like, why is he saying that? Well, it's because it's true.
Look, they're a tough out. They're a tough out, and they get in the tournament, and they might
play
be
them.
able to do some damage. I mean, we'll see. Clay, we gotta run. Thank you for the ego reminder. We'll work on that.
We got to keep it in check.
Yeah. We're gonna try to check that at the door.
Bart's like you too. Bart's got one too.
Yeah, well,
Bart's,
well,
we've
don't
told
worry.
he's the best producer. Yeah.
Later in the show, when we have 5 minutes, we're going to talk about you. So keep listening. Thank you, and we'll talk soon. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Clay Henry with some good stuff there. You'll
Thanks
hear him,
for having me.
You bet. Throughout the day on ESPN Arkansas shows and on the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell. Going to have to get myself together, and then we'll come back and keep rolling here on the Chuck and Bo Show. Jerry Palm, bracketologist, does he agree with Bart that Arkansas is in, or do they have more work to do? That really doesn't matter because we're going with Bart's opinion, but we'll get the so-called expert out there, Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, coming up at 8 o'clock. More of your thoughts next on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
That's the actual question. What the hell's going on around here? The Chuck and Bo Show. The door
doors are open, and it's a new era of elegance. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry has unveiled its stunningly redesigned 8,500 square foot showroom for an unmatched luxury experience. There's breathtaking jewelry, of course expert service, and private viewing rooms designed for comfort. And they've got an in-house cafe with handcrafted coffee to go along with a special coffee table book celebrating Arkansas's heritage. Because it's more than jewelry, it's your story at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Parts. FayettevilleAutoPart.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Part has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Part, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
If you haven't tried a Flight by Yingling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yingling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yingling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ready or not, it is tax season. But luckily, H&R Block is here. Whether you need expert help with your taxes or simply have a question or two, your neighborhood H&R Block is here for you. Taxes are hard, but filing with H&R Block is easy. Walk in or make an appointment and get 100% accuracy and your max refund guaranteed. Put 70 years of tax expertise to work for you. Get those taxes squared away today at H&R Block. Discover the Stonebreaker Hotel, where handcrafted elegance meets modern comfort. Relax in beautifully designed rooms, or book your next reservation at the Stonebreaker Lounge and Restaurant, where you can satisfy cravings with fresh, seasonal takes on traditional favorites. Open daily from 5 to 9 p.m. For more information, log on to stonebreakerhotel.com, located on Markham Road in Fayetteville, where you'll find the Stonebreaker Hotel and Restaurant. Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Basketballs bounce, cheerleaders cheer, and fans are flocking to the paint store in Van Buren. The paint store in Van Buren is known for their color matching. The paint store in Van Buren is known for their help with color selection. The paint store in Van Buren shares their expert advice from 35 years of experience. If you haven't been to the paint store in Van Buren, you are missing out. How about you give them a shout next time you need some real-life help you can't get on YouTube?
Hey, this is Dr. Cole Johnson at River Valley Smile Center. You hear my partner, Dr. Charles Liggett, at 12:15 on halftime every Monday. Dr. Liggett and I have worked at River Valley Smile Center together for 11 years now. Like the Hogs, we have a great team. Do you have a unique dental procedure, a complex dental problem, or are you just nervous about dental work? Come see me for sedation dentistry, implants, implant-supported dentures, as well as cosmetic dentistry. We are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith at the River Valley Smile Center. Check us out online at rivervalleysmiles.com or call 479-646-0706.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sportsbook in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. What all y'all service here at Jasco?
We do food trucks, cars,
We do custom banners, signs for big and small businesses. We do logos, stickers, you name it, we just about do it all right here at Jazzco. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're losing the gist of what I'm saying.
Not.
You're
I
losing.
am not, but I had a moment to pounce on a great moment, and I did. I agree with you, and I love you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
What to Watch is brought to you by Macadoodles, just north of the state line, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville. If you didn't watch the game last night, you missed it. Saturday, you got another opportunity, though. The Razorbacks are playing Mississippi State at home. It's a morning game. It's 11 a.m. After all these night games, we got an 11 a.m. game on Saturday. But if you're making a little brunch plan to watch it at home or whatever your upcoming event is, you're going to be watching on television or a get-together, maybe it's just a party, Macadoodles is your place to go to get all you need to plan your next event. And today, Wednesday, it's 15% off all bottles of wine. It's Wine Down Wednesday. Just north of the state line at Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville. Every bottle of wine in the store, 15% off, even if it's already on sale. Macadoodles, 15% off. Every single bottle of wine. It's Wine Down Wednesday at Macadoodles, where you always get the best customer service, competitive pricing, and the best assortment of beer, spirits, and wine you can find anywhere. The best assortment of craft beer you'll get anywhere is found at Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and at Guess Who in Bentonville. All right, Andy's brought this up from Mountain Home today. Let's not lose sight of the fact that the reason Arkansas has only got 7 healthy players right now is because Cal decided to only go out and get 8 or 9 guys. I don't know how many times we got to explain this. Nobody's playing more than 8 guys. Name a team in the country who's lost 2 players for the year. It's rare. It doesn't happen in basketball. Name a team in the country who's lost its 2 best players for the year. It doesn't happen. This isn't football. If you get 10, 12 guys, first of all, they're not going to be good enough, the last 3 or 4 guys, to break into the top 8. And then you're going to have guys who are upset. They're disappointed they're not playing. Now you got locker room issues. It's kind of like the game within the game. That has not been a deterrent to this team's success this year. And anybody telling you otherwise, I don't think is paying any attention to what's going on. It's just an easy narrative. They're in a good spot. They just lost 2 guys.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Pascal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit GoPascal.com today to schedule your service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Bo Mattingly, and McDonald Eye Associates is my one-stop for any vision need. The progressives they have me in are a game changer, and my new sunglasses are going to be great for baseball season. McDonald Eye was the first practice in the state to perform LASIK, and they have the most experience. They also have the new vision correction options for all ages, including cataract and clear lens replacement to see your best from all distances. For your best vision, McDonald Eye is the place to go. Today's been it's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here.
We just
let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about. A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny skies. It'll be blustery and cooler. Our high temperatures this afternoon, mid-40s north, low 50s south, with winds out of the northwest, up to near 45 miles per hour. Clear and cold, upper 20s to low 30s overnight. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
They're on a mission. This team wants to make sure that we get to the end.
Call them the Omahawks. Yes, sir.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Hey, Ty Richardson for American Patriot Promotions. They have their Springdale Gun Show coming up March 8th and 9th in the Parsons Stadium Events Center. Come see them Saturday, March 8th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, March the 9th from 9 to 3:30. Tickets are just $10 per person, $8 for veterans, military, police, and first responders, plus children 16 and under get in free. Check them out online at AmericanPatriotPromotions.com.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at ServiceMasterPC.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials. Wednesday, ladies' night. I know you love Wednesdays here.
I love my Wednesdays. All the ladies come out. We have $5.99 small cheesy bread. We have pink panty droppers on special. We've got blow bombs on special. And it's all about ladies on a Wednesday here at Papa's.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
You're not going to get penalized for losing over there.
How do we feel about Chuck's word usage of the P word?
What are we talking about?
Penalized versus penalized.
Like when you play golf and you use the word penal. You don't say that's penal. You guys have the most limited vocabulary of any group of morons I've ever been around. Seriously, you guys are idiots. I'm not saying anymore. You guys are idiots. I'm not going to be made fun of for using a normal word.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night, love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still happy.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
That's still so funny to me. It's still hilarious. That was awesome. What a great moment. I'll take that one with me forever. That one's
It's
good.
great.
Yeah,
Makes me miss Chuck this
Yeah,
morning.
where's Chuck? Chuck's probably resting.
We haven't even
he may
got a text.
have already gotten up and be on his first mimosa by now, like celebrating the victory. You know, could be at a brunch spot. By the way, the wind's just howling. I don't know about where you are, but it's just one of those days where it's like I thought we were in spring, and we're not. Like, not today. I woke up, got outside. It started, it was sleeting when I went outside, and then the wind was howling, and trash is blowing everywhere. Trash cans are knocked over, debris flying around. So, 10-2 on the wheel. Is that old school? Do we have a new positioning on the wheel? Buckle up and drive with care. 10-2 on the wheel. No texting and driving. Pay attention. But it is sort of just like cold and windy, and we got a high of 47 today. But you know what? It's warm in the car with the Razorbacks winning over Vanderbilt on the road, snapping a 3-game losing streak. We go live to the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room where Bart Pullman tells us what it all means.
Well, I think what it means is that Arkansas is in the NCAA tournament. I think that's what it means.
Boom!
Listen
to this guy.
That's what we've said from the beginning, is that if they get to 7 wins, it's going to be good enough to get them in because of the strength of the SEC.
Put it on social media.
And when you look at bracketology, whether it's Joe Lunardi or Jerry Palm, and where SEC teams are seated, it makes a lot of sense. SEC teams are on the 1 line, they're on the 2 line, the 3 line, the 4 line. They're making up a majority of the top seeds in this year's tournament. That's how it's going to play out. And so when you have 7 wins against that sort of competition, you're going to be in the tournament as well. The only question right now is whether they're going to be in the field of the traditional field of 64, or if they're going to have to go to Dayton and play in one of the play-in games. That's really the only question in my mind, because this team will be playing in the NCAA tournament.
How about that? Bart has moved Arkansas off the bubble and into the tournament.
I think they're in.
And that it doesn't matter if they lose to, was that the egg timer?
We're in.
They're in. They're cooked in a good way. They're fully cooked in a good way. They're in. Okay, so Mississippi State, you win that game, you feel really good.
If you beat Mississippi State, you are in the field of 64 for sure. You're
I
probably
still think
a 10 seed.
I still think they need to win either against Mississippi State or they got to beat whomever they play in the first round of the SEC tournament.
Here's
which
fun
we
fact.
don't know who that is yet.
Right, but fun fact: if Arkansas beats Mississippi State,
fun fact
on Saturday. You guys are brutal.
This is so fun.
Arkansas
I've never
will,
been around a bigger group of morons in my entire life.
Arkansas will move up to the 10 seed by virtue of tiebreakers.
If what?
If Arkansas beats Mississippi State.
Okay.
Arkansas will move into the 10 seed, which would mean they would play 15th seeded LSU. The winner would advance to take on Ole Miss, which is a slightly easier path than, say, playing Oklahoma and then Texas A&M in the tournament.
Okay. I mean, I think they can beat either Oklahoma or LSU in the first round.
Sure.
And I think they'd beat anybody that they would play in the first round. But I heard you talking earlier, you wouldn't want to somehow end up playing South Carolina again.
Right. You
just because it just felt like a
bad
matchup was
it's a
an
bad
issue.
matchup.
And
for
matchups are some of the difference. But also, I think if they played South Carolina again, they would win. I don't expect them to shoot as horribly as they did.
Sure.
That's South Carolina. But we're in the weeds now about the SEC tournament, and what we're really talking about is Arkansas being in the NCAA tournament, feeling like this win got them in because it was a quad 1 road win against a team that is 14-2 or was 14-2 at home going into this game.
Yeah.
And
they beat some really good teams there. I mean, I think they beat Tennessee, Kentucky. There are others. They played well there. I think they lost to Auburn and maybe Alabama at home. I don't remember
They did lose. They lost to Auburn and Mississippi State. Those are their 2 home losses.
Okay, well, they've been really good at home.
But they've beaten Kentucky there. They've beaten Tennessee there. They've beaten Ole Miss there. Mizzou. Like they've been a good team at home, and so to go to Nashville, to go to that weird gym that they have there and get a win is significant for Arkansas's NCAA tournament.
Here's another thing that's somewhat significant, I think. With Thiero being out, showing the ability to go on the road and get a quality win like that helps avoid the idea that this team is different without him and not good enough to be in the NCAA tournament. Because if you lose him and then you go on a losing streak, like, let's say you lose by 10 last night after the way the South Carolina game went. Now you've got the NCAA committee not only evaluating your resume, but the idea that an injury has left you with a lesser team, which means you're not as good and therefore probably not one of the best teams for the at-large bid. So I thought that was another reason that was a big win for them last night. Bart with the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room update telling us Arkansas is in the NCAA tournament. That's his expertise. By the way, Chevy of Fayetteville, your number 1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas. Unbeatable prices, unmatched selection, award-winning service, and a team that you can trust. Check with Chris, Mark, or Denver when you get in there. They'll tell you that you can electrify your new year right now with up to $15,000 off new 2025 Chevy Equinox EVs and Blazer EVs, and get up to $11,500 off the new 2025 Chevy Silverados. Up to $12,500 off the new Tahoes during Truck Month, only at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive. Chevy is the official truck of the Chuck and Bo Show. Text still rolling in. We got people that don't think Cal should be considered for Coach of the Year. We put it on social media. So we don't know who all's voting. I mean, it's worldwide. It could be anybody. I was a little surprised. Like 75% of those responding say that Cal should not be considered for Coach of the Year. I'm not trying to crown him Coach of the Year. I'm trying to call attention to what I think is one of the better coaching jobs in the league this year. With all due respect to everybody who's having a great year. Florida, Auburn, Alabama, great coaching, great teams. What Arkansas has gone through from day one, what the challenge has been from day one with putting a roster together from scratch, getting a team to play together, dealing with injuries all the way back to the preseason where they didn't have 5 guys to go 5-on-5 in practice, to then losing ultimately your 2 best players. I mean, this is Cal has talked about it. Starting 0-5 in the league, they're writing their story, and it's been a good one. It's been a story of overcoming adversity. And for all the people that have complained about Cal not getting more players, I don't know if you can in year one go get many more players that are actually going to see the floor. By the way, they do have other players on the roster. They can put them in the game. They're not going to forfeit a game because they run out of players. They've got players on the bench. Those players are not the rotation that he rolls with. And they haven't cracked that rotation. You can argue maybe they go get some better players, like more of them. But when you're recruiting the caliber of player he's getting, when you go solidify your roster at the bottom of it, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever that is, and it's still a little bit different dynamic. I don't know if they had a ton of time to do that in year one. But also, it's rare that you lose 2 players from your rotation in a given season for an extended period of time. It's rare in college basketball. To lose your top 2 players, rare in college basketball. And so, to me, the idea of how good Arkansas is or isn't this year is not based on they don't have enough players. To me, that is irrelevant to the way they have played basketball this year. And if you want to make it relevant because they've lost their two best players, I would submit to you the other two players they would be playing in this rotation right now wouldn't be anywhere near a difference maker for this team. But the number of players is not keeping them from winning games. Missing shots and boneheaded mistakes have kept them from winning some games. I'll also submit to you, some of these guys like Nelly may not even be playing and wouldn't have a chance to work into the player that he's sort of coming around to being as we get into March now. Trevin Brazil. I mean, look, sometimes there's something to be said for you know who your guys are. This is who we're rolling with. We're not trading anybody. Nobody's going to sit out and not play. We need all of you to get everybody in the boat and get it all going together. And maybe that allows you to overcome losing your two best players. I mean, there's some benefit in that. By the way, I think we ought to listen to Chuck's calls last night. Do we have the TV in here too, or is this all Chuck?
All Chuck for TV.
This is all Trevin Brazil's double-double, 16 and 14 last night. Player of the game for the Hogs for
they
sure.
Lob it out front, stolen by Brazil. He throws it down on the other end. Brazil with a windmill dunk, and the Hogs are up by 7. Razorbacks in the half court. Brazil top of the circle. Three-pointer good from Trevin. Down the lane, in the corner now. Brazil for 3, and it's good. Ahead to John L. Davis. Baseline drive, floats, no good. But how about Brazil to soar with a follow? Out front, John L. Davis drives in the paint over in the corner. Brazil's open. Three-pointer good from Trevin. The dagger.
There you go. Chuck on the show today. Got him on the show right there. Hopefully he's getting some rest. We all need the rest. He got in middle of the night last night, as did the team. That's just part of these road trips, and especially when they start that late. And I don't know about you, but it was hard staying up for the second half.
Last regular season road game for Chuck. I'm sure he's happy.
Don't think he doesn't know that.
Oh, I know he does.
Don't think.
And he would say it if he was here.
That he doesn't have like one of those calendars on the wall that he's marking off.
Yeah.
Still got to go to the SEC tournament and hopefully the NCAA tournament.
Right.
But the last road game.
Definitely the NCAA
tournament. Yeah, boy, that was a late game last night.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, it was as late as we thought it was. It felt as late as we thought it would.
Let's not ever do that again.
Hey, so he's sleeping. Hopefully you got some good sleep last night. If you're not sleeping well, especially if you know you have sleep apnea, you got to look into a change, a potential life-changing move. If you don't like your CPAP machine, you don't want to wear it for whatever reason, it could really lead to severe health problems because you're not sleeping as well as you want to or even maybe think you are. There are other options. Dr. Scotty Bolding's an Arkansas native. He's a world-renowned surgeon, and he provides proven surgical alternatives to help you breathe better. The Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine can be reached at 479-755-3000. Precedent.com. You can find them online. Precedent.com. Precedent.com, the Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine, helping Arkansas breathe better. 8:18. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Bo, you said something interesting. I don't think you meant to, but when you talked about Phil,
the Chuck and Bo Show.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party, or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
We care a lot about supporting Arkansas businesses here on the Chuck and Bo Show, and we both like keeping our rides looking good. Splash Car Wash just became our new neighbors here in Fayetteville. They're a locally owned Arkansas business, and they've been serving the state since 1989. They're good folks, and you can get a free car wash by texting Splash Arkansas to 22322. That's Splash Arkansas to 22322.
Ready or not, it is tax season. But luckily, H&R Block is here. Whether you need expert help with your taxes or simply have a question or two, your neighborhood H&R Block is here for you. Taxes are hard, but filing with H&R Block is easy. Walk in or make an appointment and get 100% accuracy and your max refund guaranteed. Put 70 years of tax expertise to work for you. Get those taxes squared away today at H&R Block.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Parts. FayettevilleAutoPart.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Part has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Part, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
The Great American Conference Basketball Championships are coming to Fort Smith, March 6th through the 9th at Fort Smith Southside High School. See the best men's and women's teams in the GAC. Battle it out for an automatic bid into the NCAA Division II tournament. Get your tickets and more information for the Great American Conference Tournament at GreatAmericanConference.com. It's the GAC Basketball Championships, March 6th through the 9th in Fort Smith at Southside High School.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cave, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Do you adhere to a budget, Chuck?
Not as well as I should.
Yeah, same.
Some people are like that.
I admire those people.
I'm not one of them.
I need to get on that plane.
I need to get on that plane.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security Bank's the official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show. FSBank.com is where you can find them online, all about convenient locations and the people in Arkansas making banking better for you. It's First Security Bank, member FDIC, 877-377-6963 if you want to text or call the show. I think a lot of people stayed up late or trying to get going today. And, you know, the first part of the game was like, well, there's nothing to see here. This is the same team that showed up at South Carolina. And boy, did it ever change from there. A 13-0 separation run for the Razorbacks towards the end of the first half changed the game. Trevin Brazile, the MVP of the game, 16 and 14, a double-double, and was all over the floor. I mean, he played great. It was fun to see. And again, every one of these 7 guys that are playing right now have a lot of upside. At any time, you feel like they could play at a really high level.
They wouldn't be playing for Cal if they didn't.
And they need, it's a great point, but we forget that when they don't play well. And there's all kind of factors that go into this, and this team has been confusing all year because you're not quite sure which one's going to show up. But I think we're seeing more consistently the right teams show up. And it's not necessarily all the same guys. You know, you can get Ivicic one night. He had 14 last night, but it wasn't his best night. Or you get Brazile the next night. Or Adu shows up and plays some quality minutes. Wagner shows up in the second half. I mean, it's just
He had a big
this
shot,
is the
too.
team. Yeah, huge shot. That three was huge. Here's Trevin Brazil after his performance.
To be honest, we know they don't got nobody over like 6'8", so, we got a lot of length on the team, a lot of taller guys, so, leading up to this game, that was a big emphasis for us.
John Sunvold talked about that yesterday. I mean, Arkansas had some advantages here. It didn't feel like they had advantages as a 6.5, 7.5 point underdog by the time they tipped off last night. But they're more athletic than most of the teams they play. And it was the opposite of what they were facing at South Carolina because they didn't have a dominant inside guy at Vanderbilt. They can beat you in other ways. That was an issue, not having Thiero in that South Carolina game. Not as much of an issue last night. Matchups will play a role moving forward. We'll get into the Mississippi State matchup, on Friday as we get into that game. But seems like Arkansas is in the NCAA tournament.
I would say they are, and I would say that
We said 7 wins,
Yeah. Yeah.
weeks and weeks ago. If
Yeah.
they could get to 7 wins,
And look, I would not be surprised if not only if they're in, but if they don't, I would be surprised if they don't win a few games while they're dancing.
I don't think
because
they're. Yeah, that's another good point.
Like I think people just forget how good the SEC is, and these teams that Arkansas is will be playing in the NCAA tournament are not going to be as good as the teams as they're playing on a weekly basis in the SEC. Like if you're scared of playing an Ohio State in a play-in game or a Louisville or a Wisconsin, like you shouldn't be, because those teams are all worse than the Vanderbilt team, in my opinion, than the Vanderbilt team you just beat last night.
They got to get there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're there.
I don't think they're done winning. I agree with you, but you don't know.
Right.
But what could happen that would keep this from being what you believe it is today?
If they lost to Mississippi State and then lost in the first round of the SEC tournament, and other teams that were on the bubble went on a run in their conference tournaments, that would be the one thing. Oh, either that or a bid stealer.
A bid stealer, yeah.
But I don't think there are just a lot of those out there this year. There aren't a lot of teams from small conferences that would get into the NCAA tournament as at-large teams. They don't have good enough resumes. There are just a handful, whereas in previous years, there have been several teams
last
like
year
that.
there was a lot last year.
I'd really like to see them go ahead and get to 20 wins.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I mean,
and remove all doubt.
You would hope so. I don't know if that's the factor, but I know winning doesn't hurt at all.
Right.
If you're not in any sort of guaranteed position, even though it feels like you've played your way in at this point. JT in Hot Springs says he slept late. He's on his second energy drink and have 30 ounces of coffee waiting for him as well. He's got 30 ounces of coffee. I'm not sure this is going to be enough caffeine, he said, being up late. He needs the Sweatinum Edge.
There you go.
Yeah, you got to go get tuned up, man. That's right. Take your vitality to another level where you won't even need that much caffeine. Like my caffeine intake is so much different than it used to be. I mean, Bart, you've been around me for 18 years or so.
Well, I mean, I just remember back in the days of the old show. I mean, it was nothing for a couple of energy drinks to be had during the show.
Yeah. People would say that's not healthy. I'd say I feel better because I need this. I mean, it's crazy and I know I talk about this and it sounds like maybe I'm pitching it or what, and I am, but it's also like something I believe in. Like, it's crazy how much better you can feel by just having the right either testosterone level or supplements that you don't currently have. And you can go back. I mean, as you get older, and sometimes even it happens in your 30s, I mean, like you don't feel like you have a lot of energy. It just changes your whole routine. The Sweatinum Edge, you can Google it. It'll take you right to the page, or you can go to sweatinumcosmetic.com and then click on the Sweatinum Edge. It's a real quick thing. Fill it out. They'll hit you up, give you a free evaluation. Follow up on it, man. It's a game changer. Like, you feel completely different. Feel like your young self again. So sometimes you got to still hit that caffeine, I guess, if you don't sleep at night. You need to sleep at night. That's important. But last night was late.
I don't think anybody got a lot of sleep last night.
I watched the whole second half this morning. That was a different experience.
Yeah.
And I just kept going, man, they just keep making plays. And that's the thing. Like they again,
They had an answer.
Carter Knox, we haven't really mentioned. Like you got all 7 of these guys. I really think that some of this could end up. Now maybe it. Look, maybe the team that we see that doesn't show up at a high level every night, maybe that hurts them at some point between now and whenever the season ends. But I think there's a blessing in disguise to some extent that you can go get 7 guys and be like, hey, this is what we have. This is what we're doing. And nobody's really worried about, I'm not going to get to play. And then the more they're playing together, like you can see some of that coming together too. You can see guys with less hesitation when they step into an open look. You can see them knowing what to do when they get later in the shot clock, getting downhill, getting that high ball screen and getting some sort of action moving towards the basket to try to open up other things. And it just looks a little bit – the South Carolina game, I agree with Cal. It's like an anomaly. But I'm going off the other 5 games we've seen out of the last 6, where these are the type of things that look like they're coming together. Now without Thiero, they've had to adjust to that, and I think they're doing that. And they certainly did it last night.
There aren't a lot of better coaches in the country, go back however many years you want, who are better at motivating and instilling confidence in their guys than John Calipari. Like that's maybe the thing I've been most impressed with him this year 1 at Arkansas, is how he just instills belief in these guys. And guys could be playing poorly or have bad stretches. Like take Nelly Davis. Nelly Davis was like not present for much of the early part of the season. He was a non-factor. And he's become an important piece of the puzzle for the Razorbacks because Cal kept believing in him and kept encouraging him. And, he's gotten over the hump and he's looking more like himself than he has at any point this season.
Hunter Henry's about to join us in studio. New England Patriots tight end, former Razorback, the Combine, wrapping up. Give us some perspective on what it's like getting ready to play in the NFL. We'll get his thoughts on being a Razorback basketball fan right now. I still think Cal should be considered in the conversation for doing an amazing job this year for Coach of the Year. Hey, if you haven't done your taxes yet, you still haven't filed this season, your neighborhood H&R Block's open and available. Put 70 years of tax prep expertise to work for you and get those taxes squared away today. Hunter Henry joins us next. It's 8:29 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Like, I think you should look at yourself today in the mirror and say, what's wrong with me?
Okay, I will.
I'm not talking about you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Picture it. It's a day like any other. You're stuck in traffic on Rogers Avenue during rush hour. You're just ready to get home and relax with your family. And then, just like that, your life can change in an instant. And you're going to need a lawyer to make it right. I'm Phil Votaw with Phil Votaw & Associates. If this happens to you, call me, 479-434-6200, or online at votawlaw.com. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cave, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
The Crane Team is your home for all your automotive needs in the River Valley. With 2 big Crane, Kia, and Hyundai locations in Fort Smith, the Crane Team has the perfect vehicle for you. From pickup and delivery to service after the sale, plus our famous huge Crane Cash discounts. The Crane Team simply can't be beat. Shop Arkansas's largest selection of Kia Tellurides, Hyundai Palisades, Sorrentos, Tucsons, and more. Visit us today or shop online at craneteam.com.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime?
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479 Stadium.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hogs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I'm glad you brought that up, Chuck, because fortunately...
You upchucked it.
Just came out.
How did you
came up?
Well, here, another segment with Upchuck Chuck.
By the way, that's a clever retort. That Upchuck, I've never heard that.
Tell you what, yeah, well, it's the first time since we started this show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck is hopefully resting. He was in late last night. Hunter Henry's joining us. Patriots tight end, former Razorback great, author of the Hunter Heave. When's that book coming out? By the way, you gonna write that book? Gotta move that mic. Might have to move that mic up a little higher. No, just it'll go just up like that. Yeah, look at that. Oh, look at you.
Oh,
yeah, you're a natural.
I'm a pro. Yeah, maybe I should write a book.
You
want to help me?
I think. Well, I mean, I could think of more qualified people, but I'll help.
I'm not the greatest writer. I'm a good talker.
You talk.
Yeah, I can
and
talk.
somebody writes.
Yeah, that would be.
Tell your story.
That'd probably be the best way to do it there. But that's a good story.
Did you stay up, watch the second half last night?
I watched majority of it, actually. Yeah. I'm kind of a night owl, so I had that thing on. And, the season we're in, these games are big. So, I'm a big fan. So I like to tune in.
So you do watch quite a bit of Razorback basketball?
Yes. I'm into it for sure.
Okay. You played basketball in high school?
Yeah, basketball was actually honestly I liked basketball more than football for sure. Honestly, sometimes I still do at times.
Yeah.
Man, I've always
fun.
just had an enjoyment for watching basketball and just all it takes just the free flow of it, everything. It's just so different than football in a lot of aspects.
Well, you can just go out and pick up a ball and start shooting. Like you hardly ever see anybody, like guys walk into a gym and they're waiting on something, like the team's not out there or whatever. It's just so hard not to go pick up a ball, right? And just like start shooting. It's just fun.
No doubt. If we're members at like a Lifetime Fitness, my wife is, and so every once in a while I'll go with her to the gym and mess around or whatever if in the off season. Like usually up in Boston, and there's a gym right there, and like I just look at it and I look at her and I'm like I'm gonna go shoot for probably an hour.
Are you allowed? Could you play a pickup basketball game?
Oh yeah,
you're allowed.
Yeah, we're allowed to for sure. But I mean,
yeah, but you also
I mitigate risk.
Yeah, I understand.
I
Yeah.
mitigate risk.
But did you ever think that you might play college basketball?
There was a small window for sure. I thought there was a small glimpse of it. I put a lot of work into it for a long time. I mean, I used to really work on my craft of trying to be a better basketball player. As I got into high school, I realized that basketball probably wasn't the path. I realized it. As big as I am in basketball, I'm pretty average in a lot of ways.
What are you,
like height
6'6"?
wise, 6'5".
6'5"?
You know, I wish it's good, but couldn't really jump. You know, couldn't really.
There's a lot of 6'5" guys playing.
Yeah, there's
basketball.
a lot of guys, 6'5" guys. You know what I mean? And I'm a little bit more of an outlier in football, height wise. So, and then obviously recruiting and all that stuff started happening in football, and realized, you know what, this is probably the path.
So what did you think last night? What do you think of this whole thing with the basketball team, Cal, year one? They've lost their best two players.
I'm not gonna. I have a lot of respect for how they've handled everything this year, especially Cal. I've loved the way he's coached. I think you can really see that game by game how they get better. I mean, obviously Saturday was a big loss, but to see how they rebound, I think that just shows you a lot about the guys that they have in that locker room, the leader they have in the locker room, because you know, you lose on the road and in a tough way, and you know, every game is like elevated right now to a higher. Just every game is so important, and to, you know, fall on your face like that in a way is, I mean, I've been there. You know, it's tough in an aspect. You know, it's embarrassing. It's all that stuff, but. Obviously, they have a lot of good leaders in there, and it starts with Cal, and I think he's rallying the guys in a cool way.
Yeah, you have a unique perspective on what that's like as a player, because fans get upset, but nobody's more upset than the guys that are playing. Like, how difficult is it when things aren't going well, you know, to just keep that? Like anybody can relate to having a bad day, and then you get one good piece of news, right, and your whole attitude changes, and then you, like the way you talk to people, everything's different.
Yeah.
So we can all relate to that. But when it comes to like you're working your tail off and nothing's happening, and it's not coming together. I mean, I know you would never say that. Yeah, we give up, but I mean, I think sometimes people do. Like, and for them not to, I mean, you could speak to what's that like?
Yeah, it's tough. You know, there's good days, there's bad days. It's hard. I think it starts, like, with the team, at least, it starts with the top, right? It starts with the leader, the coach, in a lot of aspects, and how he can rally guys. I think that's why I've grown a lot of respect for the way Cal's run things this year, and how he's continued to evolve and continue to grow. You can really see that with the way the teams come together. And then it comes down to the locker room. You know, there's... You know, fans are going to be hard. Fans are going to come on you at times. I mean, you know, they pay good money to sit in those seats, and you know, they want to see success. And sometimes it's hard to see that success like right away, especially with a bunch of new guys right away. So I like that analogy always of like the iceberg. There's so much underneath the surface. The iceberg is just humongous, and you know what I mean. Like there's all that work, the meetings, the weight room, the training room, the everything underneath the surface that all the fans and everybody else doesn't really get to see. Right? There's so much behind the scenes work just to get to that small thing above the surface that you see on let's just say a basketball team a Tuesday night or a Saturday. For us, it's a Sunday. You see that 3-hour glimpse. For us, you know, that's all everybody else sees. You don't see the Monday through Saturday grind, and the off-season grind, and the training camp grind, and no one else really gets to see the behind the scenes, but you see that small glimpse. So I've always loved that analogy because it really is. There's such a huge process to it.
That's a good one. Hunter Henry's in studio with us. So I saw some combine news. Like Landon Jackson looked like he was doing well, and Isaac TeSlaa. Do you remember the combine? What's the combine like?
I do. It's honestly, it's impressive those guys go out there and perform at a high level because, to be honest with you, it's hard. I mean, it's a stressful 3 or 4 days. It's the most important job interview of your life.
You've like got this entire resume that you've already put together.
Right.
And then it's like, go out there and don't screw up these drills.
It really is. It's like, hey, we, you got, let's just say a senior, right? You got like 35 games on film in full pads playing against some of the highest level guys, right? And you have a lot of success, and then people are going to look at you in underwear in a giant stadium where there's no one in there except NFL scouts, and it's dead quiet. There's no juice. It's like, you're exhausted because you're up all night doing medicals and media and talking to teams, and teams are grilling you, and teams are pulling up bad, film of you, all this kind of stuff. It's a stressful 3 or 4 days.
It's meant to put a bunch of stress on you.
100%. And it can be strenuous for sure. And I think it's silly too to just look at a combine and be like, oh wow, like this dude is the guy. And just from a combine performance where maybe you're like so on his film, and I think the film really is the place where you got to start. You know what I mean? Like that's where you got to start. Like, because the film doesn't lie, man. Like, obviously, I've played with a lot of good athletes, a lot of really really good football players, and some people aren't the best athletes, but they're really really good football players. You know what I mean? So, and sometimes it goes hand in hand too. So sometimes they're really good athletes and they're great football players.
You can help yourself, and
for sure.
And I think that's it's sometimes an issue for NFL teams who want to draft somebody because the film doesn't necessarily match the wonderful results at the combine, and they got to kind of figure that out, or vice versa.
Yeah.
You also and we're going to I want to get back to basketball here in a second as the Hogs get a big win. And Bart thinks they're in the NCAA tournament. Bart's he's our Joe Lunardi. Like, we got our own guy.
Yeah.
Like, we don't, everybody else wants to quote Joe Lunardi. We quote Bart. And Bart thinks they're firmly in the tournament now. And, until he's wrong, like, I'm just going to say, like, Joe Lunardi can do what Joe Lunardi does, and Bart will do what he does. And that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
NFL free agency is coming up. You've been in that position, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never have. Like, nobody's ever wanted me. I've just sort of had to, build my own path. What is it like in the free agency world for NFL fans listening? You're not in that position now.
I'm not under contract for 2 more years. I was about to be a free agent last year, actually, so I was about to go through it again. That was going to be my second time to enter. I actually ended up agreeing to a deal right before, basically this week, because free agency starts next week. But in 2021, I was a free agent. Basically, a lot of that stuff kind of starts, agents know a lot of people, obviously, throughout the league, and my agents, luckily, I have a really good one, and people that I really trust, and I think that's huge. Just for me, it takes a lot of stress off me of feeling like they have a lot of connections in a lot of aspects, so they're able to, get the word out there, talk to people, understand kind of the market. And, it happens fast. It'll open Monday, technically, in a way. There's a tampering period.
Yeah, that's going on full time in college football right now.
Yeah, we actually have an actual tampering period for where a window starts. And if you were to find out, you were doing that beforehand, then obviously there's punishment. I don't know if that's going on in college.
Well, I mean, it's just the Wild West, man. Like, can you imagine? Like, I think we have all this going on right now, but we're not set up for it. In college.
Yeah,
can you imagine when you were playing here, if you were getting calls like all the time from all the Alabama and all these teams that were actually, while you're just trying to help Arkansas get one SEC victory, all these teams that are calling you going, hey, we'll give you $1.5 million to come here, and you're probably going to win a national championship.
Yeah, it is.
And you can leave as soon as the season's over.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. Hopefully some of these kids can learn a little bit too about that is hard to turn down. I can't just sit here and say that's not hard to turn down for a kid, for sure. who's obviously never seen that kind of money or anything like that. But hopefully deep down too, they can find some kind of loyalty in some aspect too. And realize a little bit past that too. You know, maybe you're not making the exact amount, but you still are making pretty good money, and you're in a good situation where you can transform that and grow a little bit more too. Hopefully, kids can see that as well. But also, I think there's got to be some kind of regulation too, just to help guide these kids. I mean, they're 18, 19 years old. You know, you're still so. There's still so much to learn.
I know.
And you have no idea what's ahead of you. So, hopefully. They can kind of have some kind of regulation.
You're right. It's hard to get down the road, like think way ahead of where you are for any of us all the time, especially at that age. Man, thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
We'll do it again soon. I know you've been traveling some, but as long as you're here in the off season, you're welcome in here.
Okay.
It's the Hunter and Bo show. And Henry and Bo. Chuck's out. He'll be back tomorrow, though. All right, Hunter. Good to see you, man.
All right, dude.
Hunter
Appreciate
Henry
you
in
guys.
studio with us. Back in a minute on the Chuck and Bo show.
When you went into the Hall of Fame, I think it was at a Western Sizzler.
I think it was. It was at a motel. It wasn't a hotel. It was a motel.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Pascal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
If you suffer from sleep apnea, but you can't stand wearing your CPAP machine, I've got good news. And you need it because not wearing your CPAP can lead to severe health problems.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you don't have good sleep, you're not only affecting your body, it can affect your heart, it can affect your lungs, it can increase weight gain. If you don't get good sleep, you also are not filtering your brain well. So sleep's very, very important.
Dr. Scotty Boulding, who's an Arkansas native and world-renowned surgeon, has proven surgical alternatives that can improve your airway and help you breathe better.
If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. So you need to be wearing your CPAP. So if you're not wearing your CPAP, there are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today by correcting the jaw deformities that may be causing this obstructive sleep apnea is where we focus.
Call Dr. Boulding's office today, 479-755-3000 for a consultation. And tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show. Hey, it's Bo Mattingly, and McDonald Eye Associates is my one-stop for any vision need. The progressives they have me in are a game changer, and my new sunglasses are going to be great for baseball season. McDonald Eye was the first practice in the state to perform LASIK, and they have the most experience. They also have the new vision correction options for all ages, including cataract and clear lens replacement to see your best from all distances. For your best vision, McDonald Eye is the place to go.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Bo, when your show went off a few years ago, it was like I've been lost ever since then. And I just really appreciate your show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's not just the flavors that keep you coming back to the House of Webster. It's a tradition. For over 90 years, our family-owned company has been making jams, jellies, salsas, barbecue sauce, and many more treats that make your meals come to life. From the first jar to the last spoonful, you'll taste the quality in every bite. Please visit our gift shop located at 1013 North 2nd Street, downtown Rogers. We want you to sample the great taste of life. Visit us at houseofwebster.com. House of Webster. See you soon.
Delicious jams and jellies.
I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So you've got a favorite football team. Your painting team at the paint store in Van Buren gets you a solid primer, the perfect color, and a durable defense. That is what you want, right? Our team of Richards Paint and expertise always win for you. Whether contractor or do-it-yourself, we have the best team. The paint store in Van Buren. Go Hogs!
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're like the college kids, man. If the sun's out, it's 45 degrees, you got shorts on.
I'm all about that.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. I would prefer to never wear pants.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
5 brands and 25 years of going strong at the Fayetteville Auto Park. Nobody does it better. The Fayetteville Auto Park, with the greatest service you're going to get, the best selection you're going to get, and the best pre-owned selection you'll ever find. Fayetteville Auto Park. Chevy, Acura, Honda, Toyota, pre-owned. It's all right there in one spot. And there's a reason why they've been going strong for 25 years. Man, I wanted to get to so many more things with Hunter. We'll do it hopefully next week. We're going to try to have him on a regular basis. Just a good dude, friend of the show, friend of us for a long time. Love seeing him have success in his career. And, I want to, as we get into football, we'll get some more of his thoughts. But Auburn lost last night. We didn't really talk about that. They lost to Texas A&M. The women, fresh off the snub of Izzy Higginbottom, leading scorer in the SEC, did not make first or second All-SEC team, according to the coaches. Mike Neighbors said that all the coaches are texting him about it and saying they voted, but it's like, well, somebody's not telling me the truth. And the big story that we had all day really is the Arkansas men winning 90-77. Like, going into that game, not many people were picking Arkansas to win the game. 7.5-point underdog. Bart thinks it has them in the tournament. We'll see how all this plays out. Baseball today.
Yeah, had a game yesterday postponed until 2 p.m. due to weather. Razorbacks lead 10-1 in the bottom of the 7th, and then game 2 will continue 30 minutes after that.
Starts at 2?
Yeah, 2 p.m. resume.
Of course, that'll be streaming on the SEC Network. Plus, the women play Georgia at 12:30 on the SEC Network, a 12 and 13 seed situation. Maybe Arkansas can find a way to win a game there. Maybe Izzy can find a way to go off. Chuck back tomorrow. Chuck and Bo Show. Have a great Wednesday.
If you're having issues with your gutters or drainage around the house, you need to call Hog Trough Gutters. They're locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drains. Plus, they're fully licensed and insured, and every job